Hello again, everyone. This is the Alok Emmett channel, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, and it is the New Testament is Fake series. My lesson today is titled Marked by the Beast. It is March 13, 2021. Now, of course, we know we have this situation on earth right now, the pandemic, and everybody's concerned about the mark of the beast and taking the pestilence jab and every other kind of name that is called out there. Now, the way I see it is the New Testament is fake. And from when I was a child, that's what I've been hearing. Oh, the book of Revelations talks about you getting the 666, the mark of the beast, and you're going to get this mark, I guess, in your head or your hand, your arm or so. So now people are saying the jab now for this virus is the mark. If we're just going, because this is the Bible teaching, right, as I've been doing this series, New Testament is fake, if we're just going by the Bible, Old and New Testament, I would have to say that this is all just fake. This is all just fake. The God of the Torah, or the Old Testament, does not speak about this mark of the beast that I have found. If someone has found it out there, please let me know. Which patriarch or prophet told you about these things in the Torah? I just can't find it. So let's look now at the one popular verse that they use in the New Testament. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 and 17, I'll read. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now listen, the Hebrews in the Torah, they had their different prophecies from the different prophets about the restoration, going into captivity and then your restoration. So we know finally they ended up in the Babylonian and Assyrian captivities. They went into those captivities knowing in their mind that there should be a restoration, because this is punishment as stated in prophecies gone by. And the prophecies also promised a deliverance from the Most High, the God of Israel. He never said there that they're going to go through some mark upon them, whether in their minds or their bodies and so on, that could not be changed ever again. He never said that. In fact, he said you're going to be eating the food of Babylon and so on when you get to Babylon, things like that. You're going to become sick, all these curses are put on you and things like that. But that's just for the time of curse, and then you're going to come out of it. He never spoke. He never spoke of this mark. So where did the book of Revelations come from saying this? It's just a New Testament writing. It is not from the prophets in the Torah who heard that from God. It is not. So just show me so I can come back and say, aha, now I know, and make some nice corrections. But I just can't see it anywhere in the Torah. Now people say, but this thing is rolling out all across the earth right now. Like, look, anybody can write anything in a book and work hard to bring it to pass. We know the elites have been gathering up their money from all the conquests that they've done in the earth and slavery and so on, made lots of money, and now they can set up their scheme, just wide scale all across the earth, and now they're launching it. It does not mean God actually said this should happen. This is just their writing that they made up, and they're trying to pull it off. This is not from the God of Israel. It is not. And so they make you kind of believe, because Isaiah chapter 24 said every house is shut up. So when they put that shut up along with this whole plan, then you figure, okay, houses are shut up like Isaiah said, and now we're getting the job and so on. And Revelation did say a mark, and many people are saying the job is a mark. Then you figure, oh, God actually gave that as a prophecy in the book of Revelations. No. Because the God of the Torah did not speak this, about this mark of the beast going into your body. He just did not. So there's a problem right there with the New Testament. And we already have problems with the Old Testament. Because others have pointed out that the Torah was something that was from ancient Egypt or ancient Africa. So there's already a problem right there. But at least if we're just going by the book, the Old and the New Testament, the God of the Torah never spoke it about this Revelation's mark of the beast coming up on you, and certainly coming up on his people. He didn't say that. So what the elites are doing, and the power figures in the world, they're using fear to grab people. Fear, making you think, because God said this in the book of Revelations, then oh, it cannot be stopped, and everybody just has to do this and so on. God never said this. Somebody's pushing this thing through, and they're not getting it from God. They're getting it from themselves. Now, yeah, because you see, what this does is it just basically sets you up. If you're going to, people are saying this job is going to change you, change your body and all kinds of stuff and whatever, it just basically puts you in a spot now where by the time the Most High comes to get you back to rescue you and so on, if it has changed you and damaged the God particle in you and so on and whatever else it does to you, basically he's just coming back for a whole bunch of androids, some kind of robot type people who are not quite people anymore. That's not who he said he's going to rescue. He said he's coming back for his people. He put you among them just to be punished, not to change you forever. All right, so that's kind of changed. Coming back for some, he's coming to rescue some androids and humanoids and so on. No, that is not Torah prophecy. This is not biblical. This is New Testament, and the New Testament, I've told you long enough now, is not from the God of the Torah, the God of Israel. Because, I don't know, there's just no way the Most High is coming back for some DNA maggots. Because that's what you're going to basically become, according to what people out there are saying, and they've got you in fear and so on. No, he said he's coming back for his people. Now let's look instead of what I find in the Torah now. Let's run to a couple of scriptures here. The book of Joel chapter 3, we'll do 1 to 2 and then verse 7. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And so we've been feeling for a while now with all the teachings that have been going on for a couple of years now, quite a few years actually, that this is our time now. The Israelites are going to be gathered back and the nations are going to get their punishment and so on. And then all of a sudden it just switches and God just slips in some Revelations prophecy through John that says you're going to get your body twisted up by something going inside of you, to change your nature and so on, and make you become part of the beast. No. He said at that time, he never said at that time you're going to become some beast-looking kind of stuff in your spirit before him. No. He said at that time, I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people. That's what he said. Nothing from the book of Revelations. For my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place, not bringing them down with some beast system kind of change in your body from the book of Revelations, from this so-called Apostle John, but not bringing you down like that, but I will raise them up out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. He's pronouncing judgment for the nations, not that the nations will get a chance to do stuff to us anymore. After all they put us through, like what more should we go through? So anything else they're coming with in the future is just the tail end of what they have been doing to us all along. They don't got no new plans to do anything new to us that can succeed. That doesn't mean some people aren't going to go along with or whatever their stuff, but the bulk of what is real Israel will not be overcome by anything from the book of Revelations, because Revelations was never given by God, it is not of God, and the New Testament is fake. So see, he says that in that time, when I shall gather the children of Israel, he's telling you, this is the eschatology now. He's telling you the end time stuff. He's not talking all throughout the prophets in the Torah about this kind of stuff going into your body and changing you and all kinds of stuff and marking you like that. You are marked by the Most High in your heart with the Torah. And that's what the Torah has been saying all along. That's why the prophets kept saying, return to the Lord, return to the Lord, return to the Lord. Why? Because you are already marked by him, by your covenant with him, that you broke, and he says that he's going to restore it. Ezekiel. Chapter 37, verse 10 to 12. So I prophesied, we know this is the whole dry bones kind of stuff. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived. You see, this is the prophetic stuff for the end time stuff when we're coming to life. So we should be looking toward life now, not looking towards death by something going into your body to remove the life of the Creator. And he blew into man the breath of life. You see, this is the time when the breath is coming into us to wake us up. Arise, Israel, and to make you become once again what you always were. It's not time to go down and die because something is going into the inner parts of you, your DNA, and whatever they're doing and whatever they say to try to change you into something else. No, the Most High is not going to make you into something else, but he's going to bring you back to what you always were. That's why it said here, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up on their feet, which means they're coming back to what they always were, not becoming something new, so that they will be changed in their bodies and be marked by the beast to become a kind of the beast, a type of the beast, and to become a pestilence walker upon the earth. No, Israel is going to become themselves once again, and an exceeding great army. Verse 11, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. You see that? He can still identify, even in their dead state, that this is the house of Israel, all of it, the whole house. Because they don't look different. They don't look like a pestilence walker. They don't look like some DNA maggots. They don't look like the beast. Even in death, when they are in Babylon, in death when they are in captivity, in death when it's just dry bones, they still look like the way the Most High sent them in. They look like Israel still. That's what the Most High gave the prophets to prophesy about. Not something new coming from the book of Revelations. New Testament is fake. That you're going to be changed in your DNA and in your bodies because somebody's going to do something to you. No, the prophet could still see that at the end, Israel still looks like Israel. Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Hear what the prophet is saying. He didn't complain in his prayer. about how our body has changed and our DNA has been corrupted and this and that and whatever and what. And no, he didn't complain about those things because he's not seeing that in the future, because Revelation, future like that, is a fake future, a false future. The New Testament is lying to you in Revelations that everybody's going to get some mark and you're going to basically become like the beast. No, the prophet here from the Torah is telling you that he's not seeing Israel looking like a beast and a mangled up, twisted up DNA kind of stuff that makes them change and look like something else. They still look like Israel. So he complains not about being marked up and coming into the form of a beast and so on and looking like the rest of the nations, looking like the rest of the world. He didn't complain about that. He said, this is Israel, and he's complaining for Israel, saying, we are dried up. Not that we are marked up, that we are stuck up, but rather we are dried up, our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. It's not new stuff that goes into them that he's complaining about. It is the parts that are not working right, the parts that are missing that he's complaining about. We are cut off for our parts. So Revelation should have done something better from the so-called Apostle John, and at least said he caused us all to lose their parts. Because that would more be in line with what the prophet is saying. Instead, he said somebody's going to do something to you and give you a beast mark. No, the prophet said that Israel is crying out, we are cut off for our parts. Because he already said they stood up on their feet. So they're like, but we can't do anything. You're telling us stand up on our feet, but we don't got no parts to work with. That's what he's complaining about, a lack of parts. Because they were just bones, they were done for. Verse 12, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O my people, I will open their graves, right? I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. That's the restoration right there. He's not doing nothing else to you to change you back into whatever. He's just putting back the parts that we're just complaining about, that the parts are cut off. So he's bringing you back together and pulling you up out of the grave so that you can stand upon your feet like he said up earlier. Let's look at Isaiah 43, verse 5 to 7. Fear not, as we're living in fear now from this book of Revelations marked by the beast, pestilence, fake prophecy. But the Most High is here saying now through Isaiah, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed. See, you're not trusting in the Most High, so you think, oh, we're all done for. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather them from the west. I will say to the north. See, this is the prophecy that he's giving for you for the last time. Not that you're going to go down like the nations and become changed and become a beast yourself. But he says, I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Bring them together, bring them back home, is what he's going to say. Right? In verse 7, everyone that is called by my name. Not everyone that is called by the mark of the beast. Not everyone that is called by Lucifer. So that he is changing you with something he's putting in your body because of his science. Turning you into a little Lucifer and a pestilence walker on the earth when you should be Israel. So Revelation is fake. This is just a big trick. Anybody can write something in the book of Revelations or New Testament and try to make it seem real. All they're doing right now across the world is just something that they have planned for a long time, and they're trying to pull it off and make you think it is prophecy. But the New Testament is fake. I've told you that for over 200 videos so far. Nearly 250 videos or lessons. That the New Testament is fake. And so people get stuck on the New Testament because certain things look so real, and the history of it also looks so real. But that is a trickery, because the same book of Revelation says this same deceiver will make you wonder at the miracles that he will do even in the skies and make fire come down from heaven and so on. So he'll trick you with stuff that should come in the future, and he tricked you with stuff in the history, telling you New Testament is real and Jesus came to die for you and so on. He tricks you all the time. So you can't trust the New Testament stuff. It is fake. For everyone that is called by my name, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yea, I have made him. That's what the Most High made. He made you and formed you, Israel, for his glory. And somebody's going to take that glory just because you're in a time of punishment and change your bodily makeup by what they put in you and rob the Most High's glory from him? No, that's wrong. That's just a fake prophecy in the book of Revelations. Let's run over now to same Isaiah. Let's go to chapter 48 and verse 9 to 11. For my name's sake will I defer mine anger. For my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. But they told us from I was a child that if you take the mark of the beast, you are cut off from God forever and you are hell-bound. But the Most High says that I cut thee not off. So how can you be sitting here in 2021, be scared, biting your nails, that you have to take the mark of the beast and you're scared of it? He's saying, I'm not going to put you in a situation where you're going to be taking no mark of the beast so that you're cut off. That's basically what he's saying. You're not going to be faced with anything where you're going to be cut off because he will not cut you off. Look at it some more for yourself. That I cut thee not off. So the mark of the beast cannot cut you off. Revelation is fake. This is somebody's evil, sinister plan with everything that they're doing on the earth from the time of Jesus with the New Testament and so on, coming on to trick the whole world with everything that they're doing written in that New Testament book. When the Most High said, do not add anything else unto it. Deuteronomy 4 verse 2. This is a big trick. The Most High says, I'll cut thee not off. So how come you have to be warning people to not be cut off by the mark of the beast? The Most High says he is not going to cut you off. (10 and 11). Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. You are the glory of the Most High. You, Israel, are the glory of the Most High. He will not give his glory to another. No man can take it either. So how can someone take his glory by giving you a beast mark in your system? Nobody can take away his glory. Israel is the glory of the Most High. You are the glory of the Most High. Revelation is fake, that he calls us all to receive a mark. Because that can never include Israel. If that is mark of beast that will take away the glory. Because Israel cannot be cut off and Israel cannot be stolen glory. So that someone has the power to take the Most High's glory from him. So that he causes us all to receive. Maybe he can cause somebody else to receive his fake prophecy mark. He can't cause Israel to receive a fake prophecy mark because he cannot take away the glory from. Right? Because Israel is the glory of the Most High. Last verse, Isaiah 49 and verse 3. And said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. So now, if the New Testament is true that he calls us all, that means Israel as well, scattered Israel, all will receive the mark. Scattered Israel. And he's going to change your DNA, change your body. When David said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So there's a glory about the body. And people who really look into it, nature and so on, will tell you the whole world is made like the human body, the sky above and nature and so on. So if you're seeing glory up in the heavens and the skies, the heavens declare the glory of God and firmament show it. That means your body declares glory. Israel is the glory of the Most High. So if he says he will be glorified in you, Israel, how can somebody put something in you from the book of Revelations to change you into a beast? Because when you side with the beast, you become like the beast. Just like when you side with the Most High, you become like the Most High, or you become like God. Because godly character, they say, begets godly character, or godly association begets godly character. So godly things, doing godly things and seeking after God and so on, lets you become more like God. Just like they used to say in the Christian church, become Christ-like and so on. Well, in this case, you're becoming more like God the more you focus on God and serve God and keep His commandments, things like that. So if you're Israel, that's what you should be doing. So you become more like Him. You are the glory of God because you become more like Him every day by seeking after the Most High to become what you once were, waiting for the time when He will fully complete all of that. So how come now you are seeking after God, you say you're keeping all His commandments or as much of them as you can and so on, you're looking for redemption and come out of 400-year captivity or whatever you're looking for and all that kind of stuff, and then you look like the glory of God on earth, so He's coming back to save His glory so that He does not lose His glory and somebody's going to make some stuff and put in you and take away and change your glory so that you are no longer the glory of God. The New Testament people, come on, it's just low down and fake. Low down and fake. New Testament cannot prophesy anything that's going to let Israel become a DNA maggot and a pestilence walker on the earth. The New Testament is fake, marked by the beast. Look into it for yourself. Yalak Emmett Channel, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. Thank you again for listening.